Okay, we are live, I believe.
We are live. We are streaming live. Perfect. Good afternoon, Realtors. Good afternoon. Thank you guys so very much for joining us today on Super Series Tuesday. Well, we are in our third episode of Super Series Tuesday, and today we are joined with a special, very, very special guest, but we are talking or discussing debt reduction to accomplish home ownership. My name is Letitia Grant, and I am the chair of House Then the Car, and we are my co-host.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stephanie Milburn. I am the campaign manager for House Then the Car, and we are excited about Super Series Tuesday with our special guest and speaker from Freddie Mac. I will let her introduce herself.
Miss Cassandra Scadana. Did I get it right this time?
You know what? You are always so on point with pronouncing my last name. I will take it.
Thank you so much. And first, I want to tell you, we are so excited that you're here. Anytime that we have the opportunity to join you, we know it's going to be filled with fun and facts.
Cassandra, I didn't even want to take a stab at it. I was like, I'm not going to mess it up. I'm going to let her say it.
Well, and you know what, you guys, listen, credit is a tricky subject, right? When we're talking about how to maintain, our debt to income ratios, how to keep our credit tight, it can be such a convoluted topic that I'm glad that you asked us to come in and give some information. And I got to tell you guys, I'm cheating, okay? Everything that I'm telling you guys today, you all can go online and you're going to be able to find this information yourself in one contained place. So I'm really excited because I think I'm going to be able to really kind of crack this nut on credit, and we're going to help people get or stay on the road to home ownership.
Good deal. Well, we're excited.
Me too. So, let me tell people a little bit about myself. I am an affordable lending manager with Freddie Mac. So, one of the tasks that I have is I get to work with organizations like the National Association of Real Estate Brokers and our Realtors members on providing information out into the public on, look, what can we do to be able to increase the opportunities for home ownership? So, when we were asked to join you guys today with this house before the car, oh, listen, that is right up our alley, right? Because, I love that mantra. I don't know about you, but I am the owner of some proud millennials. And, I tell them constantly, listen, house before the car, make sure that you are investing into something that's going to pay you first before you invest into debt, because a house will pay you. A car is going to take your money. Okay.
Yes.
So let's talk about information. Today we said we want to talk about credit. So I wanted to first start off with saying, and I hope everybody can share can see my screen here. Information is key. There's a lot of misinformation that's out there. There's so many different things going on right now, right? There's a lot of scams. I don't know about you all, but I'm getting text messages from people asking me for my personal information. I had somebody break into my Netflix from Chile. I was like, are you kidding me? Because I know they're looking for my credit card information.
Yeah.
So listen, we have to be able to understand not just how to grow our credit, but how to protect it too. So some of the modules that I'm going to show with you guys today, I'm just going to grab some tidbits on some things that I think will be able to kind of help us answer some questions. But listen, there's a lot of information, and all of it is coming from our Credit Smart financial education curriculum. It's called Credit Smart. You can find it very easily. You can Google Freddie Mac Credit Smart, take you right to it. We also have different we have different parts of it too, like Credit Smart Military. Our soldiers have some different situations than some of us have, or veterans. So if you want information that's specifically related to military and service members, that's a good place to check out. We also have a new product that we launched that is Credit Smart Homebuyer U, and that is a specific curriculum just for home ownership. But Credit Smart, the original at its heart, is all about credit. So there's 12 modules. You guys can see those learning modules listed there, and we're going to talk a little bit about what we've got today.
Good deal.
So,
And
ladies,
Cassandra, right before you keep going, I want to make sure that the audience understands. Oftentimes, when we say credit, people make an assumption that we're just talking about your credit score.
no. Oh no. There's many different parts
Yeah.
to credit, and credit comes into play in a lot of different ways. And we're going to talk about that today.
Perfect.
And I want to give you guys a good example, right? Because it's not just credit score, it's your debt to income ratios, it's your credit utilization.
Mhm.
And again, it's even protecting your credit, right?
Right.
So when we talk about credit, it's that whole world of how to keep yourself financially whole.
Right.
Now, why is that important?
Mhm.
Well, I give you guys an example, right? And this is regarding home ownership. You know, if I've got good credit, then I'm going to look at a lower interest rate. I'm probably going to pay less in the mortgage insurance premiums.
Right.
And what that means is overall, it's going to reduce my house payment, right? And not only does it reduce it on a monthly basis, but like in this scenario, you're saving $80,000. And that can be just in the difference of like 10 to 15 points on a credit score. So I don't think a lot of people understand sometimes that, listen, if you do some work ahead of time on your credit, it can save you thousands of dollars.
Right.
Okay. I also want to talk about here's some other benefits because credit helps a lot of other things. You want to rent an apartment? Guess what? They're going to check your credit. You want to get a new job? Guess what? They might check your credit.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So it's not just home ownership. It's really, how do you again make yourself financially whole and how does credit affect all the other things that you might touch in your life? So, even when you try to get a auto insurance policy, car insurance, they're checking your credit. So if you're able to raise your FICO score, control how your debt to income ratios are running in your household, it can actually save you money in all the other things that you may have to use credit and you don't even know it, but they're actually looking at your credit score. So, if I want to go rent an apartment, I may have to pay first, last security because of my credit, right? Hey, some people might just be able to move in with just, one standard deposit. So we want to make sure that people understand the difference with that. And, the other thing I have to make sure people understand is that credit is not a constant thing. Okay. We have had credit challenges. I can speak for myself. I have had credit challenges in the past. Okay. And I remember when I was watching you, I'm one of your biggest fans on Facebook, and I was watching you talk about your credit journey too, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Listen, things happen. Things happen. And if you have some kind of difficulties that you run into, and especially right now, our families are going through some things. Some people that
Right.
have had loss of income, some people are having some unexpected expenses. I've got a household of 5 people. My unexpected expense is my $1,200 a month grocery bill because people are home all the time.
Yes.
So so dealing with financial difficulties, those are some of the things that we need to try to address, and especially when we're in times right now. So I'm glad you guys are really taking the time to talk about it. So a good place to start when we talk about debt to income ratio is needs versus wants, right? So understanding, what are some of the basic needs when you're looking at creating a budget, when you're looking at understanding what what your money should really be contributed toward. You want to make sure you're looking at some of the basic things, your shelter, food, clothing. And then you also want to take a look at what you're spending money on. Are they wants? Are there things that can, maybe be taken care of some other time? And especially when we fall into those pitfalls where, we're buying something on credit because we want it, right? Ladies, we don't want to admit we do that, but we do that, right? And I know the men do that too. Don't let a new tuning shoe come out. So, when we all, a lot of the cities right now are under stay-at-home orders. So when those stay-at-home orders are lifted, don't just go run out to the store and go buy all the things that you've been wanting and you don't take care of the things that you need first. So make sure we're looking at the basics.
Lobster.
You know what? That steak and lobster can wait if we're trying to pay down some credit cards. Okay. So here's a good way that I like to manage that. This is a nifty little spreadsheet. It's called the
Mhm.
need versus want spreadsheet. And it's really the foundation of you being able to put together a good budget, right? And then
Okay.
when you put that budget together, you want to actually say, how much money am I spending versus how much money do I have coming in every month?
Mhm.
And that's where you can start to understand, what you're really working with disposable income. Now,
Mhm.
on the other side of that, what lenders are looking at, we're looking at debt to income ratios when we're saying, okay, we want to be able to qualify you for a home. And that's going to look more along the lines of what are the monthly obligations that you have that are attached to your credit report versus your income. So if
Mhm.
you can start budgeting at home and controlling your expenses and making sure that you're controlling how much credit utilization you have, that's going to help you on that road to home ownership. And again, a spending plan I think is key, especially when you're working with people who are trying to get on the road to home ownership, trying to have a budget of what it is that you need to spend and what you're proposing to spend in the future if you're going to become a homeowner too, right?
Right.
You want to understand what that looks like so you can prepare accordingly.
So
So,
Cassandra, what I want to
yeah.
talk, that budget that you just pulled up, I
Oh,
share that
sure.
with
Let me
my
put that.
clients all the time. And I want to let everyone know that you can find that spending budget on the Freddie Mac website. And I'm going to be honest, there is not one thing that's missing that I have found from that particular spending worksheet. It is the most phenomenal worksheet that I have come across.
I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
And I think it even brings up some things that we haven't thought about, like making sure that we are, investing in some insurance,
Mhm.
right? So do
Mhm.
we have our health insurance, but what about life insurance? What about
Mhm.
disability insurance? And when you're going to become a homeowner, it's really important that you do have some life insurance to be able to protect your property
Mhm.
in case, of there being a death in the family. So
Mhm.
I think that we do want to think about some of those things and again
Absolutely.
make sure we're setting ourselves up for the future.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
that was a great observation. Yes, and all of this information again can be found in our credit smart curriculum. Late payments, I really want to make sure we talk about that because you want to make sure you're paying your bills on time, and when we're talking about debt to income ratios, when we're talking about how to control debt, there's a couple ways that late payments come in mind. Number one, late payments can increase your debt because they can charge you late payments. So, if you have a $25 late fee or things like that, that can increase your overall score of how much you owe. And also, in addition to that, late payments can also bring down your credit score. And that also affects your credit history as a whole. And in a minute, I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. So when we're saying your payment history, this is really what affects your credit. So we see that 35% of that is your payment history,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So I bring this up because, years ago I used to work in a nonprofit and I would have conversations with families about, hey, listen, if you've got that $25 credit card and, you're thinking it's okay, I can just skip it this month, it's just a $25 payment. Does it matter?
Right.
Yes, it
Absolutely.
matters. It can significantly decrease your credit score and
Mhm.
it's going to affect your payment history for years.
Yep.
Okay. So you can expect that late payment to stay on your credit history for a minimum of 2 years. So
Mhm.
again, when you're making choices about needs versus wants, do I need to pay that $25 credit card bill? Yes, you do. Okay.
Yes, you
Out.
do. Yeah.
Yes. Outstanding debt. Again, taking up new credit lines, things like that. How much debt do you owe is something that you want to look at too, and that's based off of your credit utilization. So what I mean
Mhm.
by that is, let's say you've got a credit card that has approved you for a $500 credit line. Do you want to use all of that $500?
Mhm.
No, you
Not at all.
don't.
Not at all.
You want to minimize the amount that you can use. So, ladies, what do you think? If I've got a $500 credit line, what do you think is a good amount to utilize?
$150. And fifty
A hundred,
dollars.
yeah, I was gonna say $100, less than
I love
30%.
it. Less than 30%. 30%, absolutely. And another good thing too is if you can pay it off. Now the
Mhm.
key is don't pay it off and then close it unless you've
Yeah.
been, maybe talk to one of your lenders that you're working with and that's the advice that you're getting. But when you're
Mhm.
building credit, you want to make sure that credit history and that payment history for good accounts don't disappear
Mhm.
because you
Mhm.
close the account.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's something else we want to keep in mind. And they're also looking at the types of credit too, right? So do you have just credit cards or do you have some installment debt? If you own a home, is that going to help you have better credit? Absolutely, it will because what their scoring models that they're looking for is they're looking at the types of credit you have in use. So
Mhm.
keep in mind that when you're building your credit, it's good to have three solid trade lines that belong to you. And I highly suggest that one of them should not be a car until you buy the house.
Yeah,
So
thank
it
you.
may be
House, then the car.
right. So, if you're just starting off, maybe, you have a parent or a loved one that has added you as an authorized user and they're in good standing. Maybe
Mhm.
you go and open a secure credit card on your own and you start making payments on that. But one of the things that we see in mortgage lending is that we do see people who come to the table with decent FICO scores, but something we call thin files. And that
Yes.
means they can't credit qualify because they have less than three trade lines.
Mhm. Mhm.
Cassandra, you
So,
mentioned
yeah,
paying off a credit card. Can you talk about a little bit about the credit card utilization?
right. So here, let me go back to that. So credit card utilization, that is our I guess that's like a gold color there, that 30% of outstanding debt.
Mhm.
That's really focused on your credit utilization. So what they're looking at is they're taking a combination of all of the open credit lines that you have showing that's reporting to your credit report, right? So if you've got 5 lines and each in those lines combine up to, let's say, $25,000, but you're writing the limit on each one of those cards, then you are blowing your credit utilization out of the window because it's too high. So
Mhm.
you want to
Right.
keep your combined credit utilization as low as possible and definitely below 30%
Mhm.
while you're trying to become a homeowner. And the
Right.
best way for you to do that is to focus on each individual trade line and again, keeping them as low as possible. And, I would say when you start to get to 30%, you really need to start questioning, do I need to buy this? Do
Mhm.
I need to charge this?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because once you get over 30 it's easy to get to 50, and after once you get to 50 it starts to negatively affect your credit.
Mhm.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about what we see going on today. Have you guys seen some of the advertisements? Hey, you can buy this new car today and not make a payment for 90 days.
Yes. I have seen from so many dealerships. And the biggest problem that I have with that is, have you gone back to your budget? 90 days comes so fast.
It does. It
I'm seeing a
does.
lot of
And
it
you know what?
now, especially with the COVID-19 situation going on. I've seen a lot of advertisements for 90 days, no payment.
Right. And you know what? We're seeing it not just for cars, but I've seen it for furniture.
Mhm.
I've seen it for new, if you want to take out a new credit card, you want to open a new credit card,
Mhm.
don't make payments for 90 days. So that seems to be, the hook that people are using right now. And I want to warn people against that because first of all, there's fine print. So if you're not making a payment for 90 days, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that company is still going to be looking to make that money up somewhere, right? Which probably translates into a higher interest rate.
Yep.
So if you read the fine print, and I have taken the time to read some of these fine prints, and I can tell you they've been alarming. So you need to be careful that when you're going into these, let's get you on the hook today, advertisements, that you're not paying more in the future. You might find
Yeah.
yourself into, a 29.9% interest rate, something like that, that you really have to take a step and say, oh my gosh, how did I do that? So I always advise people that, listen, get some information before you make any kind of major purchase. That's why I really love working with NARAP, because you guys, and I know the ladies here are also members of Women's Council.
Yeah.
You guys really go above and beyond with educating the community on how to make the right steps, and not just home ownership, but again, controlling debt. So I implore people, before you make a large purchase, talk to someone and talk it through. Look at your budget, make sure you're on the right track before you do that. Predatory lending is definitely on the rise, and it's especially because of the pandemic, of what we're going through. Unemployment rates, let's face it, they're high, right? And when people are unemployed, or they're going through financial challenges, companies have a tendency, or predatory companies that you wouldn't normally want to work with, are reaching out to you. I don't know if you've checked your mailbox lately, and I don't know if they're just picking on me, but I'm getting mailers where they're sending me like these fake checks, right? I open up and it's like a $50,000 check. All I got to do is sign here. So again, you need to be really careful about these loans that people are advertising, or they're talking to you about, hey, let me try to get you into some tactic that's going to help you right away, and they're not giving you all the information. So if you feel like you're being pressured, or if you feel like you're not getting all of the information, make sure again you stop. Consult someone, consult a nonprofit, consult Women's Council, consult someone that can help you kind of weed through some of these things. And if you have family, that are homeowners and they're experiencing difficulties, keep an eye out for equity stripping. And that's when someone wants to come in and offer you below market for your home, in addition to in the offer to pay you out quickly, right? So if your house is worth 250, I'll give you 150 cash right now. Well, you know what? That's taking that equity away from that family. So we want to make sure we're keeping an eye out for things like that too. So, in essence, I want to make sure that people understand that, listen, if you're having a financial crisis, you are not alone. Do not be ashamed. Do not be afraid to reach out and ask for help. There are many organizations that are here to help you. We have, again, a lot of information that's available on our Credit Smart website that refers you to HUD-approved counseling agencies. NARAP can also help you with referring you to NIDs, or women counseling group, or women's council groups that are across the country, that can help you get back on track. A difficult time with your credit is not a permanent time with your credit, but the key is making sure you're staying on top of how much you're spending in your household, how much credit you're utilizing, and not falling into any credit traps.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure I provided you guys some links, excuse me, to some of the slides. Again, I showed you today are coming directly out of our Credit Smart curriculum. It's 12 modules. It's free. Did I mention it's free? Oh yeah, and it's free.
Free is for me.
Yeah, I love it. So, if you want information on, or you want to be able to help people find information on how to become a home buyer, and they want to maybe get a home buyer education certificate, again, our Credit Smart Home Buyer U is a good place to visit. If you need information on credit, or you want to pass this along to a home hopeful, or if you yourself want to get the information, I highly suggest using the Credit Smart curriculum. And don't forget that we do have it available for our military and service members as well.
Yes.
And with that, you guys, I want to thank you. I know I've eaten up quite a bit of time, but I had a lot of information to share.
So first of all, it was a lot of extremely important information. So we again want to thank you so very much for joining us today. I've just been kind of checking out the views. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to put those questions into the Facebook page, and we'll get those answered while Cassandra is still on the line. But what I want to do before we all exit, Cassandra, would you be able to, let's see if we can stop sharing your.
Here we go.
There we go.
Did that work?
Yes. Okay. So before, and I'll continue to check one of the viewers asked if we would share the link. So thank you very much for providing those links for everyone. I want to also turn around and give a recap of what Super Series Tuesday is. And let's keep in mind, I am the chair of House in the Car. And Stephanie?
I am the campaign manager for House in the Car.
And what we've done is we've done research with the millennials. House in the Car is a strategic focus for millennial home ownership. We've done the research for the millennials, and we've taken everything that the millennials have stated is preventing them from home ownership, and we're bringing those items to you in Super Series Tuesday. We started Super Series Tuesday, the first Tuesday with the introductions. The second Tuesday was home ownership from a sociological perspective. This Tuesday is debt reduction to accomplish home ownership. And what I want to let everyone know is one of the things that Cassandra actually talked about during her presentation today is we often associate credit with our credit score. And credit is a combination of debt, credit score, and so many different things. Being able to take you from not owning to owning and talking about debt to income ratio, your budget, knowing the difference between a need and a want is so important during this time. And what she did was she shared with us some sites that you can go on to access the information that she shared with us today. We're going to take it next week, next Tuesday, and we will be joined with Shanoa Funds, down payment assistance as the bridge to home ownership. And then we're going to get into development for convenience. We know our millennials want everything convenient. And then we'll end it with Realtors to the Rescue on May 12th. If you're not already following, and if you have not already liked House in the Car, we definitely ask that you go ahead and like and follow House in the Car to stay tuned to all of that information. We also have, and I'll let Stephanie talk about some of the other things that House in the Car is providing to our audience.
So Letitia mentioned she started out talking about Super Series Tuesday because, of course, today is Tuesday and we are in our Super Series Tuesday segment. But we start our week off with Millennial Mondays every week, and that's where we get our information and we do our research and talking to the millennials. And we have talked to several millennials in the past, and during our virtual segments, we've been discovering some commonalities within their difficulties in house. And so on Super Series Tuesday, we're here to discuss the solutions. And then we follow that up with on Wednesday, Home Ownership Changed My Life, where we take the barriers, then the solutions, and we turn it into a testimony. So on Wednesdays, we have Home Ownership Changed My Life, and we talk to millennials who are now homeowners and are discovering that, you know, when they went through that journey, it wasn't as difficult as they thought it was going to be, but through, you know, the different series that we have available, they learned some things about their journey and how they can overcome the barriers. And so we want to put out the resources to future home buyers and future millennials who are on the fence or having difficulties with budgeting, credit, debt reduction, anything like that. We want to give you the resources so that you will be on our Home Ownership Changed My Life Wednesday.
Yes. So once again, we'd like to.
I want to be on Home Ownership Changed My Life Wednesday.
Cassandra, first of all, you are invited to Millennial Monday. You're invited back to Super Series Tuesday. I absolutely love your energy and being able to provide this much needed information in this particular climate in a way that everyone can relate. That is your gift. So we are so pleased to have you as one of our partners, not only for House in the Car, but also for Women's Council. If you are not a member of Women's Council, you may not have received the information from Freddie Mac Credit Smart to be Credit Smart certified. So before we end this call, Cassandra, do you want to share with them the opportunity of becoming Freddie Mac certified and how that?
Absolutely. I will tell you that the best thing that we can do right now is share information. So first of
Yes.
all, I am extremely proud of you ladies to take the step to provide, this resource on Facebook Live. And I see people are watching and they're gathering this information. And this is a dream come true, because how often have we talked about being able to kind of open that mystery on credit? So listen, if you are interested in becoming a Credit Smart instructor, first of all, I do want to preference, you do need to be a housing professional, okay? So, by chance you are listening and you are not in the housing profession, don't try to go sign up to be a Credit Smart instructor. You want to make sure you go talk to NARAB and they will help you, okay? But if you are a housing professional, if you are a realtist, if you are maybe working in a housing related nonprofit, or if you are a lender, you can definitely sign up through our subscription center. And we have Credit Smart Train the Trainer series 3 times a year, and it's all online and it's free. It is a commitment. You're going to have to give up a couple of days of going through the courses, and there is a test, because again, we want to make sure that when you are out talking to the public and you're helping them, that you're giving accurate information. So I would say definitely go to freddiemac.com, visit our subscription center, and sign up, and you will get notified the next time that class is released. And we're expecting to have one in the summertime.
Perfect. Well, Stephanie and
I would just like to say that I'd be remiss if I did not mention that I am the membership chair for Women's Council of the Houston Black Real Estate Association. And this is one of the member benefits for our housing professionals. We do offer the class. So guys, if you are interested in becoming a member of Women's Council, if you are interested in becoming Credit Smart certified, then just shoot me an email, or you can just send me a direct message and I'll get that information over to you.
Perfect. Well, Stephanie and I are both Freddie Mac Credit Smart certified, so we do find the value in that. We would definitely like to thank our audience. Again, if you have any questions, any comments, please send those over to us. I'm going to check really quick before I let everyone, release everyone like we're at the end of school from the line. We have, let's see, presentation much needed. Share with a few of my clients that needs it right now. We are, and this is actually a post from someone in my office, we are in the midst of working with someone right now that is in need of Freddie Mac Credit Smart instruction. We are sending them the budget and making every attempt to ensure that we get them over so that they can qualify for a loan, because their debt to income ratio, well, actually what it is their utilization is so high, it's preventing them from becoming a homeowner. So we're grateful that you were able to touch on that. Keep up the great work from Antoine. I don't see any other questions. So nope, I don't see any other questions, but if you did indeed have a question, you didn't have the opportunity to post it today, please definitely send it over and we'll make sure that we get that answered. Thank you so much, Cassandra, for agreeing. Marlena is on the line. I see that she's on mute. Just in case she had any closing remarks, I want to give her that opportunity. There she goes.
Thank you. I'm just very glad that we were able to participate today. Thank you guys for having us. As always, your wealth of information. So I just want to tell everyone that we look forward to you guys further, and we have a lot of great content out there. And again, if you need anything, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you so much again for your partnership.
Thank you. You guys, thank you. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you on Wednesday. Homeownership Changed My Life. And we will also see you next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and check us out on Friday for our Financial Fact Friday host. Thank you again for joining House Then the Car, powered by National Association of Real Estate Brokers. Have a great day.
Thank you, guys.